So magic is not just an illusion of hoping that one can merely have some emotional or intellectual experience. Of what value is a system that is limited to just ordinary experience? And theory is not the practice of spirituality. Truths can be seen. The magical tradition neither depends on nor requires blind faith. One of the finest things of being involved in such, whether it be as a wizard or an adept practitioner, is the knowledge that one can actually receive back from students, as it were. So often eager believers claim to have seen divinity, but when in truth they have seen nothing, only thought it, always existing within the mind. How many times have people professed to have, of course, heard the words of divinity, of deity, when, of course, they haven't? That these people have that blind faith in which these things happen, where you believe it, so therefore your experience gets interpreted through that. To believe that just because you are its creation, that it will talk to you, is a bit arrogant. If this were so, you would be, in fact, above many creatures and beings out there in existence that have surpassed the current stage of human evolution. So, those that have been privileged to a true, unexplainable gnosis or manifestation should not expect that the gods will perform for them on call, per se. To be worthy of utilizing the highest force, one must be of truth, self-honesty, and beyond illusion. The magical precept is that one should only believe what we have experienced, with no wishful delusions that we color our experiences with. So therefore the force of God is there for those who have been schooled in the divine methods of communication, and therefore attract its manifestations at will properly. Faith occurs upon receiving, then, these true divine substantiations or confirmations, and even then the profane may interpret anything convenient for their needs. People have synchronicities all the time that get chalked up to coincidence and so forth. So sometimes it's not a matter of what's happening to you, but how you're interpreting it and where you will go from there. So it was not necessarily intended originally for man to succumb to weakness by the divine, though we've had many things put in our path to distract, whatnot, keep us from the source. So any power harnessed and produced in this material world is like a battery, having two opposite poles. The religious promotion that God or its manifestation express only one half, or the benign half, of a totality, such as is explained in many conventional religions. It may be that ignorance for themselves to be aspiring devotees, this is what they require at their point in their path. So the laws of the universe are not altered. These energies must be worked with harmoniously, like dialing in a radio transmitter, receiver. So, the modern and easy excuse of if it is meant to be is very old. Many deprived people sit without food, believing if God meant for their families to eat, then God would provide. The seeker must perform and seek truth, not just intellectual knowledge. Knowledge is abundant. Attainment is the acceptance of secrets within as brought out by the spiritual teacher, and therefore faith is required based on the student who has already known of the true magical experience which has preceded that faith. But the greatest faith is that of the teacher in the aspiring student, and not necessarily vice versa as one would believe. How arrogantly some so-called students approach their so-called teachers.